NBA here on 2K Sports. Wednesday in the NBA. It'll be the Orlando Magic facing off against the Indiana Pacers. And now we send you out to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K crew. I'll see you at the half.
And the players going through their game preparation, making sure they're fully warmed up for the tip. Welcome aboard, everybody. This is Wednesday Night Basketball of the NBA on 2K Sports. Kevin Harlan here along with Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. A quick check now at the starting lineups for both teams. First for the Magic. Nelson is flanked by Oladipo in the backcourt. And they've got Vucevic, the sweet-shooting 7-footer out of USC, in at the center. Then there's Afflalo, and it's Harris in at the 4 slot. And for Indiana, at the 1 and 2, George Hill and Lance Stevenson. And starting 7'2", one of the true giants in the game, another great big man out of Georgetown, Roy Hibbert. Then it's Paul George, and it's West in at the 4 spot.
When the Magic made the big trade they did to send an unhappy Dwight Howard away, everybody thought they'd be the doormat of the league, and that wasn't quite the case. They were able to sneak up on some teams early and had enough talent to battle others late.
And as good as their season appeared early on, the Magic did eventually cool off and teams were able to overpower them. Steve, early on, they definitely caught teams off guard, I thought, and were playing well above themselves.
I agree, Kevin. They executed really well. They would run Afflalo and Redick off those screens. And Vucevic was a surprise, a really good young player down low. But they've got to continue to build this roster in order to compete at the highest level.
Now, here's Oladipo, following the miss by David West. And Oladipo kicks to Afflalo. And there's the pass to Oladipo. Orlando moving the ball around. Three-pointer, Nelson. Here's Vucevic. West with some nice D. And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Thank you, Kevin. The Magic head coach and I had a chance to talk just for a bit. They'll be up against one of the true giants of the league in Roy Hibbert. And he talked about how impressed he is with Hibbert's dedication to improving his game, saying he's gotten better year after year. And now he's one of the guys you have to account for, really at both ends of the floor. Defensively, you've got to get low and try to root him out of the paint. And then on offense, we'll probably look to put him in pick and rolls to test his mobility. Seems like a smart strategy, guys. We'll see how they do.
All right, Doris. A little over a minute gone here in the first quarter. Outside Hill. Kicks it to George. Fires the 3. And it's Orlando with the rebound.
Well, you look at Paul George, my man, PG 24, the young swing man out of Fresno State. Boy, he had a terrific year last season, was the most improved player last season, and a first-time NBA All-Star. You consider how young he is. Just turned 23. And he's got the potential to make plenty more All-Star games. And I think he could ultimately be a Defensive Player of the Year at some time in his career.
And so it's Indiana with it. Hill kicks to Hibbert. George. Pass to Stevenson. Back to George. Shot clock at 5. The kick out to Hill. From the arc. And the basket good. And for Paul George, the 10th pick back in 2010. What a terrific find for the Pacers.
Well, he was already a good player, but I think the injury to Danny Granger last season created the opportunity for George to really emerge as an all-star. And that's exactly what he did. Dangerous inside and out, excellent defensive player, has a chance to be really special.
Now here is Hill after the miss from Oladipo. Hill kicks it to West and fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot two. That one on Nelson.
Well, you got to love the season from David West last year, coming off the ACL tear back in 2011. I think he's completely back as far as that injury is concerned. He was so good last year, particularly in the playoffs.
And he can't get the first one. And David West, Clark, a locker room leader for the Pacers last season, helped lead them all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, and a guy I know that you greatly admire.
Oh, my goodness. Love the way he does his work. I call him Real Deal 21. There's nothing fluffy about what he gets done, and he's so smart and so savvy in how he approaches the game, and really a lion in the locker room for the Pacers. That's why that team was so tough in many ways, particularly defensively.
Even though he couldn't get them all to fall, he did at least make it a two-possession game.
Nelson with it. He's picked up by Hill. Nelson kicks to Oladipo. Pass to Harris. The dish to Oladipo. Basket is good. The assist from Harris.
That is not enough coverage. Got to do better than that defensively. Basically no coverage. I mean, defense did not look very good there. Well, Indiana's success last season was built around its defensive prowess, and they usually would set the tone at the start of the game. They were one of the best in the league at allowing the fewest first-quarter points.
The Magic have gone 2 of 5 here, making 40% so far to start out the game. Oladipo, good.
Well, the drive to the bucket was nice, but how about the finger roll finish? Beautiful.
Indiana's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. Going back to the Pacers once more, you knew they wanted to emphasize defense each game, and Steve, they would always come out and get right in the offensive player's face to start the game.
And they allowed the fewest first-quarter points of any team in the league last year, Kevin. That's a great way to kind of set the tempo, set the tone in a ball game, and the Pacers were able to establish that defense right away.
Now Oladipo. Paul George missing from long range. And it's Oladipo with the jam.
How about that now? What a sensational finish.
Oh, got to be able to get some hang time to do that.
Yeah, you got to rise and levitate.
Suspend yourself.
Yeah, levitate.
And glide. And glide. You got to glide in and reverse it home. So sweet.
Here's Hill. The Magic getting the bucket. Feeds it to Stevenson. 5 to shoot. George. Shot's good from West.
If you battle for the offensive rebound and come up with it, you're guaranteed a high-quality shot on a follow just like he got there.
And it'll be Orlando with their first time out of the game right here. So Orlando going with an almost entirely new group here. Kyle O'Quinn is checked in for Vucevic. Andrew Nicholson comes in for Tobias Harris. Maurice Harkless is checked in for Oladipo. And it's Etuan Moore checking in for Jameer Nelson. Here's Nicholson. Moore outside. He passes to Afflalo. He kicks to Harkless. Back to Afflalo. 6 on the shot clock. And Evan Turner pulls it down.
That's an easy shot there. That's a shot that he should make more often than not.
The feed to Watson. Stevenson. Stevenson off the pitch for Mahimi. Turner dishes to Watson. They get the rebound, and it's blocked by O'Quinn. And it turns out it's going to be a foul. He was hoping for a clean block, but the officials felt otherwise, so we'll see some free throws here. The Pacers have gone 1 for 2 on the night so far from the line. That free throw good for Mahimi.
Well, Jan Mahimi wasn't a big name when he became a free agent a few years back. But, you know, the Indiana Pacers saw enough in him that they were willing to offer up to a 4-year deal for Jan to be the backup center.
good on both. And kind of an interesting trade for the Pacers for Mahinmi. You know, you could have signed him outright, but chose to trade Darren Collison to Dallas in that sign and trade with the Mavs. Mahinmi, though, an important player for the Pacers as we saw backing up Hibbert.
He was good, but, you know, it would have been nice for them to keep Collison and sign Mahinmi. I thought they needed some depth at the point guard spot, particularly in that playoff run.
The Magic shooting their first shots from the free throw line tonight.
Well, they were 75% free throw shooting a season ago.
And the first one drops. And so Nicholson nails both of them. We've got 22 seconds left to play in the first. Watson with it. Passes it to Stevenson. Stevenson off the pick from Watson. Stevenson, he's guarded by Afflalo. Rejected by Nicholson. Here's Moore. Shot is off. So at the end of one quarter of play, still a close game. Magic out in front. They're up by one. And we'll be back with you right after this. Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And from what we've seen from Orlando, what do you guys see?
And the difference to this point has been defense. This club has really gotten after it, and that's what's gotten them this lead.
Well, there's nothing that's gone up that hasn't been contested so far. You know, there was a lot of talk about the Magic not getting equal value when they traded Dwight Howard to the Lakers before last season, but you take a look at how both teams started, the Lakers and the Magic, and for a time there, the Magic had a better record early in the season than the Lakers. So I think it worked out okay for the Magic.
Here is Watson, defended by Moore. Now Watson, he feeds it to Scola, and Luis Scola gets the whistle that time. That's foul number 2 for him. Well, Clark, like you said, hard to believe, but it's true. The Magic did have a better record than the Lakers for the early part of the season, but that was mostly due to a surprise down year from the Lakers, Steve, and a hot start for Orlando.
And remember, the Magic did get that big win at Staples against L.A. That was kind of a revenge for the D. Howard trade. But as time wore on, you know, the Magic's lack of talent showed, and they really struggled the rest of the season.
Now let's send it to Doris from the sideline.
Kevin, it certainly seemed the Magic were to be lost after Dwight Howard, but they have quickly turned things around. The development of their young players last year and nabbing the number 2 overall pick in the draft helped speed that process. They took Victor Oladipo and now have a fantastic collection of young talent. We'll see how quickly they can get back to the postseason, guys.
Well, they didn't get it done last season, Doris, but they're hoping with the revamped roster, this will be the year. Now here's Turner after the miss from Watson. Turner passes to Scola. Harkless with the steal. And up the court come the Magic on the break. No stopping him there. Jams it in as he's fouled. Chance now for a three-point play. They get C.J. Watson.
Good aggressive finish on the break.
That's as easy a 2 points as you could ask for.
For Orlando, they have had 2 chances at the line already, making them both. Vucevic check in for Orlando. The free throw off from Harkless.
Well, if the Pacers wanted to grab the attention of the league with their postseason play, they certainly did that. They marched through the first 2 rounds by knocking off the Hawks and the Knicks. And, boy, remember, they were a game away from the NBA Finals.
Watson with it, defended by Moore. Watson kicks to Turner. Watson, just 5 to shoot. Watson gets a screen from Mahinmi. Watson, defended by Moore. They grab their own miss. The shot by Mahinmi, no good. The Magic leading by 5. And it's Afflalo penetrating. Drops in the layup for 2. Ultimately, the Pacers would fall to the Heat, but they put them to the test. I don't think there's any doubt about that. They gained respect league-wide even more than they had going into the playoffs. It took 7 games, Clark, and you saw them all, which a lot of folks didn't see coming.
I know that's the case, and yet the way the Pacers showed such grit in that series, it indicates they can compete with anybody. And you have a defensive anchor like they do in Roy Hibbert, they've got a chance to be a championship team before long. There's no fear out of him, guys. I mean, going straight to the hoop against a much bigger defender, he's got a lot of heart.
And some stats here, guys. The scoring breakdown for the Magic.
And right from the start, guys, it's apparent they're determined to establish a presence in the paint.
The other thing that's helped them early tonight are the points they've been able to convert off turnovers. Clearly, Orlando was a team in transition last year. They had a group of younger, inexperienced players, and many times when that's the case, you'll get off to slow starts in games, and that certainly proved to be true for the Magic.
Now here's Moore. Now here's Harkless. On the wing of Afflalo. And again, it's Orlando converting.
Boy, it's no wonder they've got the lead. Their shooting has really picked up here in the second quarter.
You don't expect the team, Steve, to shoot in the 60% range the entire game. But if they can hover around that mark, then they'll run away with this one.
Turner dishes to Mahinmi. Back to Turner. High post try. Here's Scola. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Scola's got his first basket. And in the second quarter, a little under 3.5 minutes played already. Here's Moore. He dishes it to Harkless. Back to Moore. Clock at 6. And he hits it just before the shot clock expires. Moore's got his first bucket of the night. Pacers trail by 6. And here's Watson. And Turner kicks to Scola. Back to Turner. Using his post moves to get the 2 points. A minute 50 left to play in the first half. Now a timeout called by Orlando.
In order to win your division, you have to be able to win games against the rest of your conference, and that's exactly what Indiana did last season. Tough team in a tough division, and they gave no ground to other teams in the East.
So Orlando going with an almost entirely new group here. There's a minute 47 left here in the second. Harris a screen on Hill. Nelson kicks to Vucevic. Oladipo. Oladipo off the pick from Vucevic. Oladipo the pass to Nelson. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Lets it go from 14. Will not go. This is off the front iron. And the Pacers, as you mentioned, Clark, very solid against the other teams in the East as they would cruise to a 31-20 record against the rest of the conference.
And really, that's because this team is built to handle anything that's thrown at them. Kevin, it's a big, strong, kind of old-school team. They'll pound you inside, they rebound, they protect the paint. There aren't a lot of matchups that seem to bother this team.
And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Yes, Kevin, for David West, he was signed by the Pacers back in 2011, and he's helped them advance from a team that had lost in the first round to a team that pushed the Miami Heat to 7 games in the conference finals. Now, re-signed by the Pacers, and teammate Roy Hibbert happy to have him back. Hibbert said, "Before David got here, we were soft. All we would do is shoot threes, and that was it. He came here and he brought confidence. We played hard, we played together, and played as a team. Guys, David, a leader on and off the floor.
Well, Doris, confidence so key in this league. Thanks.
And a 2-for-1 opportunity.
Yeah, they've got to hurry. Step on the gas here.
.26 seconds left in the second quarter. Watson dishes to Hill. Hill left side. And he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a three-point play.
Seems like they're on their heels every time defensively because the ball continues to go into the post.
Well, if they don't pick up the aggression, things are only going to get worse.
The Magic making a switch here. And this is his first trip to the line tonight.
Shooting one.
The free throw drops for Hill. We've got 13 seconds left now here in the second. Nelson kicks to Afflalo. Back to Nelson. Here's O'Quinn. And the first half ends in a close one. Magic lead by 1. And coming up after the break, it'll be Damon Bruce breaking down all the highlights from the first half of play.
Now, presented by Sprint.
Halftime in the Hoosier State in a close one. Welcome, fans. I'm Damon Bruce. We've seen the Magic slugging it out. Too hot to handle offensively. They're scoring with a lot of confidence. They've gotten some great minutes out of Victor Oladipo. You can't complain about the way he stepped up. But the Pacers getting after it as well. Extra possessions almost too easy to come by. They've piled up the second chance buckets. Leading his team in scoring, George Hill. They also like what they've seen out of David West, too. That will be all for us. Thanks for stopping in. We'll see you next time.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now. Well, you have to like what we're seeing from Oladipo.
It seemed like he made everything he got. I mean, anytime he had an open look, he took advantage of the opportunity there in that first half.
And Steve, they were all good looks. I mean, his shot selection has been terrific throughout the game.
Vucevic covered by Hibbert. Poked away. Harris kicks to Afflalo. And it's good with time running down on the shot clock. Afflalo's got the first bucket of the third here for Orlando. Pacers trail by 3.
Well, with only 20 wins, the Magic had the worst record in the league and a good chance to get the #1 overall pick in the draft. Didn't work out that way. They got the #2 pick, which isn't a bad second place.
Now Stevenson. Paul George missing from long range. Second chance shot. Gets it to go. West has got 5.
You know, you can give a defender a lot of trouble if you're consistent with that turnaround jumper. It's almost impossible to block.
Well, Clark, as you said, for the Magic, they did miss out on that #1 spot, but in a draft where several players could have been considered, Steve, the top pick, they picked a good time to have their draft luck change.
Well, remember, this is a franchise that within their first 5 seasons had back-to-back #1 overall picks. One of those was Shaq, by the way, so they've had their luck. But I really like Oladipo. I think he's going to be a star in this league. I think Orlando has a building block for the future.
Now, here is Hill. After the miss from Vucevic. And the shot is good.
Boy, he found the perfect spot behind the arc there. Big gap in the defense.
Nelson, the pass to Harris. Nelson off the pick from Vucevic. It's Nelson up top. He's guarded by Hill. Count the bucket. And that's now 9 points for Victor Oladipo.
You got to love the big bucket in the paint in this sort of grinded-out physical game.
Yeah, that was your game, Clark. Pound it inside and take the ball right to the defense.
That's what I tried to do, man. I knew my limitations.
Here's Hill. He's got 9.
Really was a very strong season, guys, for Jameer Nelson as he bounced back in a big way. You know, he got his scoring up and was acting as a playmaker at a much higher level than what we were accustomed to seeing from him.
Now here is Hill. And George kicks to Stevenson. And here's Hill for three. Shot is off.
Look at the big man there. He knows how to go up and get that rebound.
Oladipo with the ball. West picks him up. It's off his leg. And it's whistled a kick. Time called here. The Magic decide to talk it over. And as we get a break here, important for the teams to go over their own strategy. And for the players, this is where you have a chance to get rehydrated with Gatorade. To put out your best effort as the game wears on, guys.
You know, it's amazing when you're playing during a season, if you go through a stretch where you don't hydrate, it can have a major physical toll on you. Your body wears down quicker, you don't recover as fast, and that can really take its toll over the course of an 82-game season.
Second half of play with just under 2.5 minutes gone. On its way from a follow for two. And he overshot that one, missing. Clark, you just mentioned the uptick in assists for Jameer Nelson. He's the Magic's franchise record holder in assists, Steve, with over 3,000.
You know, I would have guessed that Scott Skiles had more than that.
Me too.
Skiles had so many back in the day, but it just shows you the consistency and the production that Nelson has given that team over almost a decade now.
Now here's a Flalo after the miss from Oladipo.
Boy, there was no hand in his face right there. I thought for sure he was going to knock that down.
Stevenson off the pick from Hibbert. And play stops. Whistle on what looks to be an illegal screen.
Well, an illegal screen is one of the toughest calls for the official to make.
You know, I agree with you. You've got to have some sympathy for the referees when they have to make calls like that, but they get paid well, and they're the best in the business, so they can handle it.
The Magic making a switch here. O'Quinn's checked in. Here's O'Quinn. Dishes it to Harris. There's the pass to a Flower. Kicks to Nelson. Pocket four. Shoots from the elbow. The Magic again can't hit.
Well, I think he kind of alligator armed that one, short stroked it. After doing a nice job to get open, he didn't finish the shot.
And stolen by a Flalo. And now a Flalo pushing it up. No one back to stop him.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
It feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
Now here's West. He has 5. Goes to the fadeaway and keys it. West has got 7.
Well, he doesn't waste too many of those chances close to the basket.
Harris setting the pick for Nelson. Back to Harris. On the wing of Flalo. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact and he'll shoot 2.
You look at how Aaron Aflalo came into this league and how he plays now. I mean, he's gone from being just a defensive specialist to a starter that can put up some solid offensive numbers as well.
And for Aflalo, he's had the ball in his hands more and more.
And he's improved penetrating and creating his own shot. He used to be more of a spot-up shooter, but really expanded his offensive game. Even can mix in a little post-up game as well.
Vucevic checked in for Tobias Harris. Hill with it. 9 points in the game so far. George dishes to Hill. Pass to Stevenson. Feeds to Hibbert. Some nice passing here by Indiana. Stevenson can't hit.
Boy, from my angle, it looked like it was in the bottom of the net. Looked good from here.
Yeah, I thought so too, Clark.
Hill against Nelson. Vucevic. Great D that time from Hibbert.
Hey, the defense was right there, just waiting, doing a nice job of anticipating that play.
Steve, every team needs tough interior defense to be successful.
But they'll get another chance. And George kicks to Hibbert. Back to George. And the layup is good after a nice lead pass. George has got his second basket of the night.
Did you see the defense get caught standing around that time, giving up an easy second chance bucket?
Simply need more of an effort on the boards there, Steve.
Now, here is Nelson. Follow the pass to Nelson. And that basket is going to count. Goaltending, the official call.
He got there late, but you do have to like the aggressiveness to go after the block. But that one's going to count.
Now you can tell what the crowd thinks about that call.
Yeah, they erupted as soon as the whistle blew.
Andrew Nicholson, he's checked in for the Magic. About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. The dish now to Stevenson. Count! And he'll have a chance for a three-point play. It's going to be on Victor Oladipo.
How about that play? Great body control. Still manages to finish the play despite the contact.
You know, when that whistle blows, you're not done. Get greedy and find a way to knock it down.
The Pacers making a change here. The Pacers have hit most of their free throws tonight, 5 of 6.
Well, this is a club that shot 75% as a team from the free throw line last season.
And that one falls, and that puts him up by 1 point. Now, here is Nelson. He passes to Oladipo. Oladipo off the bench from Vucevic. And Oladipo kicks to Nelson. Cranes the three-pointer. Nelson's got his third basket of the night. 7 lead changes now, and we're just in the third quarter.
Yeah, each side having a tough time staying in front.
Well, the fans love it. I mean, a tug-of-war, back and forth affair. But if you're a coach, there's a little frustration here. You're trying to pull ahead, but pretty evenly matched game.
And we just finished the third quarter, and we've got a tight ball game here. It's the Magic. They lead by a bucket. And when we return, we'll get the fourth quarter rolling right here on 2K Sports. Thanks for joining us again as we get set for the fourth quarter. A terrific game so far. And a look at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for the Magic.
From mid-range, it's been a very nice game for them. I mean, they've been finding the bottom of the net a lot.
And I'll tell you, the other thing that's been a factor is the transition game. They're scoring a lot of points on the fast break.
Now, here is Hill. Again, missing Hill. A follow outside. Pass to Moore. Back to Aflalo. He kicks it to Moore. The feed now to Aflalo. 4 on the shot clock. Moore passes to Harris from downtown. And Evan Turner pulls it down. And now here's George, the fast break opportunity. And the shot is good. George has got the first basket as we get going in the fourth for Indiana.
Not much the defense can do once he gets to the bucket.
Moore outside. Back to Harris. On the left block. Harris missing again. The Pacers shooting 40% from the field. Turner dishes to Hill. He feeds it to Scola from 11 feet away. Good. The assist goes to Hill. And the Pacers lead by 2.
That was the third straight high percentage look this defense has allowed. I mean, these defenders have got to start bumping bodies in the paint. Be more physical. Be more aggressive.
I agree, Clark, but it doesn't look like they have the will to do that at this moment.
Time call here. The Magic decide to talk it over. Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Well, over that break, I listened in on what head coach for the Magic was getting across in the huddle. He told his squad, listen, guys, it's close. It's about execution here. If we do that, I like our chances. No hero ball, just trust each other and make the simple play. Kevin?
First minute and a half of basketball played here in the fourth quarter. Here's Vucevic. He dishes it to Nelson. 6 to shoot. Now Now the pass to Vucevic. The Magic need to get a shot off here. The Magic again can't hit.
Well, I tell you what, that's too good a look to pass up there. Even though it didn't go, that's one you got to take.
The drive by Hill. Stevenson passes to Hill. This is to George. Kicks it to West. Back to George. Takes a three. Rebounded by Jameer Nelson.
He's tried to get it going, but the shots just have not dropped for him today.
Pass to Oladipo. Drills it from outside. And guys, here in the fourth quarter, still a close game.
Yeah, and actually still too close to call. I mean, this one is tight.
This could be an instant classic, fellas. I mean, this thing has all the looks of a game that's going to go right down to the last shot.
And here's George, following the three from Oladipo. Hill kicks it to West on the wing, and the shot falls short this time.
Most of the time, that shot will go down. Boy, the defenders have to make sure they tag it.
And it's Harris off the drive. Hill against Nelson. Feeds it to Oladipo. This one for three. It's rebounded by Indiana. West has got rebound number 5 here tonight. Stevenson dishes to Hill. He passes it to West. Shoots from the high post. West missing again.
Great close out there, forcing the errant shot.
Well, he made it a tough shot again. He didn't give up on it, and he got a hand up.
Here's Oladipo. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
He plays with a frenetic energy. A great rebounder and defender. With his strength and athleticism, I think Oladipo could become one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA.
Love his game. Victor Oladipo. He gets it done at both ends, fellas. The real deal, and I think he's got a really good future in the NBA.
That's good from Oladipo. The Magic making a switch here. O'Quinn's checked in. Both free throws good from Oladipo.
Look at the free throw percentage. Unblemished since halftime, Clark. That's pretty nice.
I'd go farther than that, Steve. How about perfect?
And the Pacers call time here.
Well, they've really kind of struggled offensively here. So I think this timeout is for him to really draw something up, maybe get an easy 2 and get their confidence back.
You know, sometimes an easy basket out of a break is just what you need to get things back on track. And coaches always have plays specifically for that situation, coming out of timeouts for an opportunity to get a bucket.
Orlando on D. Here in the fourth, they've allowed just 4 points. Stevenson kicks to George. The dish to West. Defended by O'Quinn. Shot from the wing. West gets the bucket.
And his confidence has come back since halftime after really a rough first 2 quarters.
Orlando's gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the fourth quarter. Nelson outside. Aflalo. Another miss by Orlando.
You know, they haven't been able to open up a big lead, but the rebounds are starting to add up for them. They may be able to pull away a little bit.
Yeah, they've been doing the dirty work inside, Steve, playing a very tough brand of basketball.
Time call here. The Magic decide to talk it over. They're down by 1. There's 1:54 left in the game. There's 1:54 left in the fourth quarter. Back to Nelson. Magic moving the ball around. Pass to O'Quinn. Just 5 on the clock. Back to Nelson. From deep. The Magic again can't hit. .124 left here in the fourth quarter. He kicks it to Oladipo. Offensive rebound. O'Quinn can't hit. Indiana's gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. Hill passes to George. Hill dishes to George. Right side George. And they will get the basket here, folks, as they rule goaltending.
Ooh, he's playing hard, but you got to play smart, too. Get there too late, and that's a big whistle.
There's 49 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Nelson against Hill. The three from Aflalo. And the rebound goes to the Pacers. Clark, they'll be trying to take as much time off the clock as they can.
Exactly. Expect to see some long possessions out of them going forward.
Quick kick out to Hill. Back to George. Outside Hill. The feed to Stevenson. Shot from free throw range. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
You know, even from here, you can see that one pretty clearly.
Yep, pretty obvious. And a good call by the official.
Easy boys, come on!
It's the first that gives them a 4-point cushion. The Magic making a switch here. And the second free throw, no good. A tough break there. Now a timeout called by Orlando. They're behind by 4. 15 seconds left in the fourth quarter. The Magic shooting under 40% all in all for the game. From deep Aflalo. Yes! And that shot brings them to within just 1.
And that is the shot of the game.
Well, he's got the guts and courage to take it and the skill to make it.
And they go to the intentional foul.
Well, you do what you have to do to extend this game and try to get the ball back.
In this situation, clock management crucial.
He hits the first one, and that will put them up by 2. And so both free throws are good. And it's a 3-point game.
Perfect time to be perfect at the line. Now only a 3 can tie it. And a chance here to send it into overtime.
Need a 3.
Three-pointer, Nelson can't knock in the 3. And so they foul intentionally. First free throw is good, and that gives them a 4-point cushion. So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's a 5-point game.
No mistakes there. I think you can close the book on this one, guys. It's done.
So it's Indiana taking up the win. They came, they saw, they conquered.
Hey, Kevin, to me, any win is a good win.
And that about wraps it up for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. And now, Jordan presents our player of the game, George Hill.